Hey guys, Mr. OG here. Today we continue the story of an ex-employee's dangerous journey through an abandoned toy factory. As we unravel new cryptic VHS tapes and survive life or death minigames, we uncover the mysteries behind Poppy Playtime. Now, if you haven't seen Chapter 1 yet, you can find it on my channel or click the link in the description. Without further ado, let's get into it. The opening scene is a commercial dated February 2nd, 1991, where Playtime Co. promotes a stretchy pink figure with green eyes known as Mommy Longlegs. Near the end of the commercial, we cut to disturbing images of a playground and an individual running through a hallway, and finally, a fading image of Poppy telling us to wake up. We pick up where we left off after releasing Poppy from her case in Chapter 1. The case now empty, implying she must have left somewhere close by. As we enter through a previously blocked door and make our way down a narrow hallway, we end up at the red door of Elliot Ludwig's office. The door is locked, so we swing over a path just to the right and find a Huggy Wuggy cutout that says it wants to squeeze us until we pop. We move some barrels out of the way with our grab pack to open a room that has the big red key to Elliot Ludwig's office. After grabbing the key, we head back to the founder's office where we find multiple cryptic items on his desk. These items consist of a gold daisy trophy, a blueprint for a new toy known as Love Bug, a brown VHS tape titled Elliot Ludwig's Biography, and a report on Experiment 814 that describes testing on a live rat. This rat was killed and then submerged in poppy gel, and then electrocuted to bring back to life, but it failed. In the analysis, they discuss the potential of the poppy flowers and how with a correct chemical compound and a larger test subject, the experiment could yield different results. In Elliot Ludwig's VHS tape, the narrator describes him as a divorced man who had just suffered a loss in the family, but stayed relentless to complete his mission through his work, saying he hated leaving any project unfinished. The film cuts off before declaring the year it all started. After looking at some drawings made by kids about Playtime's mascots, we venture into a vent at the back of Elliot's office, where we come to an opening and have a box fall down, revealing Poppy on a higher shelf trying to get the power back on. After completing a quick puzzle and getting the power back on, Poppy says she wants to thank us for freeing her by guiding us to a nearby train to get out of the building, claiming she has a code to operate it. We head out of the office to the left this time and unlock a passage with our grab pack. We swing over a deep pit and find Poppy standing next to a giant hole. She asks us to trust her, but then is suddenly yanked into the abyss by a long pink hand. With every other entrance seemingly blocked off, we jump into the pit after Poppy and come out of a slide with the name Elliot Ludwig over it. We notice additional slides for Eddie M&R, Leith Pierre, Stella Greiber, and at the end there's a slide with a jumble of letters on the ground, leaving a mysterious fifth character to be introduced. After completing a quick puzzle, we come to the entrance of the game station. We use our red hand to try to unlock another door, but are quickly stopped by a deranged pink female character known as Mommy Longlegs. She mocks us with Poppy in her grasp and laughs at the idea that we were just going to walk out of here. Mommy makes a proposition to play 3 games in exchange for the train code, but warns us that she will eat us alive if we try to cheat.
Obey the rules, or I'll tear you apart.
We pull a lever that reveals a large abandoned playground. Passing a glitching Mommy Longlegs cutout, we find a golden train trophy in the playground. A cutout of a character that looks like the female counterpart of Huggy Wuggy greets us to board the train, but we're unable to access it. We pull yet another lever and are greeted by the voice of Stella Greiber, who says the 3 games are tests of our strength and intelligence. After her speech, the musical memory game opens and we venture deeper into the facility. A yellow rabbit cutout known as Bunzo Bunny claims our birthday is on June 28th and wishes us a happy birthday. After venturing through a tunnel, we come out in a green hand assembly room and watch a VHS tutorial. We learn that the green hand has the capability to temporarily store electricity as a charge with 10 seconds as our electric charge time. We attempt to start the assembling machine, but have to fix a pipe, activate the molding system, stop to grab an electric green hand golden trophy, refill the paint, and push the final product through. We attach the new hand to our gram pack and open a door to continue our journey to the musical memory room. After another quick tutorial, we learn the game mechanics follows that of the toy Simon Says. Mommy makes an appearance at some windows watching nearby, and we begin to play the game as it progressively becomes more difficult, with taking too much time or making too many mistakes leading to our capture and demise at the hands of Bunzo Bunny. At the peak of the game's difficulty, we reach an impossible round where we have to hit the emergency stop button and are awarded part of the train code by a very disappointed Mommy Longlegs.
It broke. That's no fun. For doing such a splendid job, Mommy has decided to give you part of the code for the train. Mommy was hoping the game could last a little longer. It's okay, though. Mommy knows other ways to play with you.
While trying to exit the musical memory game, the balcony falls down and we're forced to travel through vents until we end up in a rejected toy room. A cutout of a red dinosaur known as Brawn cracks some jokes until he says something that remains disturbing.
What do you call the scariest dinosaur? Me.
While exploring the new environment, we uncover a blue VHS tape titled Security Camera Rich, in which the disgruntled worker from Chapter 1 says that Playtime Co. heard his complaints and demoted him to work in the room where rejected toys go.
The company actually heard all my complaints. Yep, they listened to them very carefully. I guess my words must have really inspired them to take action. Because the next day I got demoted down here to the freaking island of misfit toys!
The Daisy cutout says she's rooting for us, ha ha ha, and we find some sticky notes that must have belonged to Rich. He has written down that he has 2 chores on them and lunch with Avery on Friday. We then proceed to use our electric green hand to get a golden Bunzo bunny and move a claw to a large bronze statue that is blocking our passage. After lifting the platform at the push of a button, we solve a puzzle that is a bit more complicated than the ones prior. We make our way back to the game station and see Bunzo Bunny suspended in a web overhead, presumably dead. We grab another golden trophy just overhead of the game station sign that appears to be a robot-like arm. We pull the second lever and hear Stella's voice once more.
Whoa, you did fantastic! Who gave you permission to be this smart?
Passing a closet full of gram packs, we emerge in a room with countless holes in the wall, and a VHS tape plays, showing us the game mechanics similar to that of Whack-A-Mole. Before the game begins, Mommy informs you that the mini Huggies used to have strings attached to them to prevent them from getting too close to the children, foreshadowing our death yet again if we fail the game. After completing the game, a now irritated Mommy hands you the second part of the train code, leaving 1 game remaining.
Oh, you did it. Hooray! Mommy is so proud of you.
We venture through a small passage to some colorful stairs that are broken. Halfway through the stairs, we collect a golden Kissy Missy statue, and we continue to use our grab pack to pull ourselves to the top, where we can feed a candy cat cutout by pressing the button until it glitches out. Continuing on, we find ourselves stuck in a cart corridor. A steel door rises to reveal the female counterpart of Huggy Wuggy. Kissy Missy pulls a lever to free us, and we get to work on a lengthy cart puzzle using our green hand to continuously charge and open doors. Halfway through, we discover a blue VHS tape titled Marcos Brickley Reprimanding Potential Problem, where a Playtime worker named Marcus, played by YouTuber Jacksepticeye, describes a huge monster that's 50 feet long with 1,000 legs to Leith Pierre, who tells him it was most likely just a crowd of people and scolds him for thinking otherwise.
You're sure it wasn't a person? It's no person that's 50 feet long with 1,000 legs.
Marcus, you're losing me. Maybe you just saw a bunch of people walking by.
He tells him he'll have security take a look, leaves, and then the video cuts out. Pulling Barry the minecart to a downward slope, he bashes through a wooden barricade for us, and we end up back to the entrance of Whack-A-Wuggy. Back at the game station, we have the mini Wuggies added to the web above and pull the last lever to play the final game, statues. Stella compliments us on reaching the third game, and we have to help pull the door open because it gets stuck. A large caterpillar cutout known as PJ Puggerpillar says he's hungry for bones, and we proceed to solve the most challenging puzzle yet, requiring timing and dangling mechanics to conquer. After restoring power, the final tutorial plays, and a PJ emerges next to the TV screen, the game sharing attributes to that of red light, green light. When the lights are off, we can move. When they are on, we must stay in place. But we are allowed to look around. Before the game begins, Mommy Longlegs says how sad she was to see the kids go every day, and that the children looked at her as a mother, because that was the closest thing they had to one. She said the kids never came back and left her to die, then says that if anyone deserves to die alone, it's us for working here. Proceeding through walls, foam pits, and rings, we enter one of 3 red tubes. By entering the most difficult one, we are rewarded with a golden PJ statue halfway through the tube. Coming out of the tubes, we're greeted with cubes and yet another foam pit we must maneuver through. Reaching the end, we find the finish line buried under rubble. Thinking quickly, we pull ourselves out of the game and into an observing room with our grab pack, breaking a window in the process. Going down a manhole, Mommy calls out to us to come back. We swing over a pit and continue to hear Mommy's pleas as she says she'll give us the code and that we've won the games. Her voice quickly changes to anger as she calls us a cheater and says the rules were simple. We die and she gets to watch. After pulling ourselves up and going through more vents, we find ourselves in a water treatment facility. Near the controls of the water treatment facility, we find a transfer request document that describes Mommy Longlegs' transfer to the game station, while also having the subject line, Mary Payne, hinting at what is possibly her true identity. In the notes, it said that being around the children has definitely improved her behavior, and it ends with a line about preparing her for conditioning. After rearranging the platforms, we grab a green VHS tape titled Jimmy Roth Interview, in which a cocky chief marketing officer oversimplifies the psychology behind Playtime Co.'s marketing strategies.
You take the E sound, slap it on the end of a name, boom, you're making bank.
Having the platforms arranged in a way to get to an area called Bay 2, we click on a cat meat cutout that recites Shakespeare's famous line,
To be or not to be? That is the question.
Proceeding, we begin a very fun Bunzo Bunny assembly line puzzle, and at the top we get a golden berry minecart trophy, and eventually capture a Bunzo Bunny toy. We rearrange the platforms once more, scan our toy, and enter an unnamed area. Some lab equipment is visible, and we enter the vents to complete another power puzzle. Near a charge area for the green hand, there's a red VHS tape titled PSA, Big Spider. Once completing the puzzle, we get to a Boogie Bot cutout that's cracking jokes and wanting to dance. We also find a television to play the VHS tape we just found, in which an executive tries to reassure workers that there is no way a large spider could exist, but that the company is sending down specialists due to the constant complaints. While trying to make our way back to the water treatment facility, the vents give way, and we're forced to travel a new path. Unfortunately for us, it doesn't take long for a furious Mommy Longlegs to find us, and force us to play a final game of hide and seek with her.
One last game. It's called Hide and Seek.
While quickly running away as she counts down, we find a golden Mommy Longlegs trophy before descending further below. We come face to face with an emergency exit door, but the lever isn't working. We solve a quick color-coded sequence puzzle of levers and head back towards Bay 2. A chase sequence ensues where Mommy Longlegs appears overhead and forces us to hide hoisted in the air by our grab pack. Once she's gone, we continue our journey and mold a gear in the furnace to unlock a door with 05 overhead. Just as we think we're scot-free, Mommy Longlegs appears again, and we have to hide in the furnace this time to avoid her. Having learned from our prior tactics, she was waiting for us in the area we were proceeding to. In a final chase scene, ceilings crumble, blocking our path, and we dive into what looks to be sewage pipes, narrowly avoiding her grasp as we pull ourselves up, swing over a pit, squeeze through an opening, and pull the lever for the emergency exit as fast as we can. Flying through a narrow hallway, we power up a door with our blue hand and just barely make it through with Mommy Longlegs hot on our tail. She comes speeding so fast that her hand gets stuck in the grinder, and thinking fast, we use our grab pack to turn it on, leading to her final screams of horror and a final cryptic speech.
What have you done? You make me part of you. You can't do this to me.
Her remains lay limp on the floor, with her head and right arm being all that is left of Mommy Longlegs. Unexpectedly, a large metal robot-like arm grabs the remains and pulls it down an unseen passage. We continue through Bay 5, heading up multiple floors until reaching a final black VHS tape titled Log 08502. The recording is narrated by a scientist remarking the incident with experiment 1006, the prototype. The prototype disassembled his alarm clock to create a laser pointer that disabled a security camera and allowed him 28.3 seconds unmonitored.
Function returned to the camera. The room appeared to be empty. One surveillance specialist went in to confirm his absence. However, upon opening the door, she realized that the prototype had hidden in one of the camera's blind spots. The prototype attempted to escape through the open door. However, another surveillance specialist was able to remotely relock the door, despite the other specialists still being inside. One casualty occurred.
The scientist then remarks that the prototype's intelligence is much higher than expected, and that experiment 1170 Huggy Wuggy is the most optimal outcome due to his obedience. Proceeding to the game station's observation deck, we find Poppy trapped in a web along with a proctoring sheet and formal request form and the remaining part of the train code. After freeing Poppy, the first thing she casually asks is if we killed Mommy Longlegs, and then tells us she'll meet us on the train. Once aboard the train, we punch in the train code and start moving down the tracks. While exiting the game station, Poppy gives us one final surprise speech.
I was so scared she'd put me back in that case. But you saved me. You are perfect. Too perfect to lose. I'm sorry. I can't let you leave. I've never met anyone like you. Do you know how long I've been stuck in that case? Well, too long. I had so much time to think and reflect. Time to figure out exactly what I would do when free. We'll set things right. Terrible things have happened. But I know that whatever I need you to do, you're capable. We will.
After being cut off, the train begins to move faster and faster until we're forced to pull the brake, causing the entire train to crash. Through a fading vision, we see a sign for play care, and the game ends. This has been Poppy Playtime Chapter 2. If you enjoyed the video, smash the like button and comment about anything that I missed. Stay tuned for more Story Explained videos by subscribing. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.